If you're enjoying the Health Geeks Book Club podcast, we'd appreciate if you hit the subscribe button, leave a like, rating, or review, whichever your preferred podcatcher platform allows.
This episode is sponsored by Well Balanced Nutrition and 360 Health.
Welcome to the Health Geeks Book Club podcast. Listen in as Kristen Norton and Eleanor Russell review all those great health and wellness books you've been wanting to read or you have read and want to talk about. Here's Kristen and Eleanor.
So I get to start this episode of our Health Geeks Book Club podcast because I really want to. Because the last episode we were talking about touch, and I said I might have some more things to say about that. But then I also might want to talk about what we're doing this summer. What do you think, Kristen? Is that a good plan for our little chat today?
Yeah.
Well, I was in that book about touch by David Linden, and that's the name of it, Touch. Interested in the idea of how do you feel wet? You know, because we do. You can tell the difference between wet and dry. Can't you?
Yeah, when you get out of the pool.
Yeah, I mean, wet and dry. And
You're freezing. That's how I can tell.
Yeah, but you can put your finger on something and know that it's wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I was focusing a little more biologically on receptors in our skin, there wasn't one that said, hey, I can tell you it's wet. There was one that could say, I can tell you how hot something is. There's another receptor that can tell you how hard something's pushing, pressure.
When you were focusing on it in your teaching days?
Yeah, just, because I was a curious person.
Yeah.
I used to like to look at these things just because it was fun. Yeah, but learning their names like Merkel and Pacini and all that kind of stuff, that came with the teaching. But yeah, I guess the other thing that is tangential to this is we're still in a phase of discovery. We don't know everything.
Right.
And I think that's why I like to read these books, because I'm always learning something, even though I think I know a lot. I don't know anything. Do you like, this is an odd group of books for two people to be reading and talking about. I don't know anybody else that reads what we read. Do you?
No.
Intentionally, anyway.
Right.
But they're publishing this stuff, so you guys
That's
have got to be
why I
out
listen to you.
Well, yeah. I just got someone telling me the other day that they like to listen to podcasts in their car. They don't want to read the book. Yeah. So, but yeah, out there.
Keep listening. We love you.
Yeah. But I mean, somebody out there is reading these books because they're publishing them. People are buying them, but they should be buying them from us, right?
Exactly.
How do you do that?
You go to Health Geeks Book Club, healthgeekspodcast.com, and on the top menu, there's an About Us page, there's a contact, and there's a podcatcher platform hub. But the second one is Health Geeks Bookstore, and you click on that. It will take you to all the books that we've talked about. And if you are interested in purchasing one, then you do it from right there.
You just click
on
the
it.
title? You click on the title.
Click on the
little blue
picture.
title. Little blue, okay.
Yeah, click on the picture, and it will take you to our Amazon affiliate link. And yes, we will make some money on it, but it helps us to pay for this podcast. So we can bring you more books that you don't have to read, but
Want to listen to us talk about.
You should still at least have them because they're worth having.
And you might actually want to read one of them. It's a good thing to do.
And you got to remember too, I mean, like the last book was basically a plus minus amongst the one thumb up, one thumb down.
Yeah. The book on touch.
Yeah, book on touch. So you may want to just read for yourself and get your own opinion.
There you go.
So that's what the beauty of this podcast is that Eleanor and Kristen don't necessarily always agree.
I kind of enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's
It actually makes for better podcasting, truthfully. But you should, like whenever I do food, I say, these are my opinions. You need to check it out for yourself and form your own opinions. And that's what you should do with these books.
Absolutely. So going forward, we would love for you to go to our website because there's a place you can put some comments in and let us know if there's some books you think would be fun for us to talk about.
And if you want to send an email for that, you can always send comments at healthgeekpodcast.com.
Okay. But as far as evaluating our podcasts, they can do that on the website as well, too, right? Let us know.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, if you're like me, and especially over the summer, you need some lighter reads, right? Some very entertaining, not too heavy, sciencey stuff. I just want to throw out there a couple of them that I think would be great if that's your style. So, The Gospel of Wellness, that was a really fun one, entertaining read, very insightful, and I think important, especially as we go into a summer and we might feel pressured to look a certain way before we get out in a bikini or,
Yeah, that was pretty much a good perspective on the wellness industry and its big growth that's going on right now. And who do you listen to, and do you really need to listen to it?
Right.
Yeah.
And then Chatter, I loved that one, especially if you tend to just get in your head about things and worry. That had some really great practical advice, and it was easy to read. The Good Life, I said on that podcast how amazing that one was. After reading Touch, it was just hard for me to get through. Eleanor loved it, and so I think you should decide for yourself. But I was a little down on reading after that, and so The Good Life brought me back to life. And I highly recommend that one. It's a great, enjoyable read. And then an oldie but goodie is The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. It's always a fun one to read. So check out our website, and those are my picks.
I'm not going to give any picks, but I am going to reference one. I think the first one we did was Think Like a Monk.
Yeah.
Well, Jay Shetty.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I want to go back and look at that again because I think there was some good.
I would reread that one for sure.
Yeah, I think we're racing through. It feels to me like sometimes we're racing through these books and not really embracing the stuff that we could be. And particularly in this book called Chatter, there were some good. The Good Life. There was some good tools that I think I would enjoy sitting down and doing thoughtfully rather than saying, "Oh, that would be good to do."
That
I
is
think
a
I'm actually going
challenge.
to do it.
Definitely for us.
And
we've got to read it quickly to be able to discuss it. And
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily give us enough time to digest it before we move on to the next one.
Yeah, or incorporate it in our practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think where we're learning a lot that we can share with our clients and help others, I might do well to serve myself as well every now and then.
Yep.
So I have thought about Jay Shetty for a while, and then I loaned the Enneagram book to somebody because they said that they'd listened to it and they were kind of interested. And I said, "Well, you want to borrow my copy?" And they said, "Yes."
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I would like to follow up with that person and say, "Okay, where are we on this?" And then kind of bring me back to it because it's been a few months since we read that one, and I'm not sure I can even remember my Enneagram numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I might need to reflect on that again too, just revisit it.
Yeah, it's like we need a little retreat to.
Hey, that would be fun. When we could get a group of people and go on some great retreat somewhere and talk
then
about
we
these
have
books.
This time to implement some of the things.
No, I mean with
and
our readers.
reflect on
We could have a
Yes.
big conference reader.
That would be amazing.
Where should we go? Where does everybody want to go?
The mountains.
The mountains,
Yeah,
probably.
go to the
yeah.
top. Go to the mountain. To the mountain.
Yes.
All right. Well, so what are you going to read this summer, or what do you want to read this summer?
I want to read The Power of Fun.
Okay, I do too,
That one was by Catherine Price, and she wrote How to Break Up with Your Phone.
and I liked it.
Yeah,
She has a good writing style and a good topic.
and a good topic.
Yes.
So then her follow-up is, all right, you've broken up with your phone.
Go have some fun.
Now, how do you incorporate more fun? And what do you do with that space that you're not on your phone? What else? Anything on the list that you can't wait to get to?
Oh yeah, and you're going to love it. She's going to go. Oh no, Eleanor.
I quit.
Yeah. Okay. How about the Glucose Revolution?
Oh, okay.
I want to read that one.
Yeah, so I read a book called The Personalized Nutrition, and it was a lot about glucose and how we all have different responses. So I'm curious what the glucose revolution is about.
So maybe we could have a good conversation about that because a lot of folks. I run into a lot of people who are pre-diabetic.
Yep.
And
I work with
they're
a lot
saying,
of
well,
them, too.
A1C, I've got to do something, And so that's related to glucose, I believe. And I kind of thought that title might address some of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. Recipe books, we read the Keeping Your Marbles, and there were recipes in there that I tried. So I think this summer I would like to try some recipes.
I want to try some of those dairy-free ones that like
In that
dairy
book?
in that book. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking there's some other books, and I know Gene Smart Diet is something that I kind of wanted to look. It may be a little old right now, but I've never read it. But I want to see what they were saying in there. And we've all done the Ancestry.com, and we think, oh, now we don't have to. We have a prescription for everything now because we know what our genes are. But then we read the epigenetic book, The Genie in Your Genes, that says, well, just because it's in your genes doesn't mean it's necessarily true. What's real? We had that conversation. What's real? and what's in your control and out of your control.
Yeah.
And so, I think I'm going to.
Some recipe books would be fun.
I mean, they can be.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how they're structured. If the author is like to talk or just wants to list recipes.
I read a book called Eating on the Wild Side.
You read it?
Yeah, it was before this podcast, and it was really fascinating.
Was it?
Maybe we can bring that back in, but it was how she went through each food, and it was like a tomato or corn, and goes briefly into the history, and then how the
I could like that,
agriculture
yeah.
has changed, and how that affects the
Nutrient
value. And there's some that are similar too that go into like the soil and how the soil makes a difference
and
in our
farming
food.
practices and
So maybe we could read something on that.
So or something in that line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that because I like to cook. I like to eat.
Yes,
And I want
me
to be
too.
healthy. I do.
I do too.
And I want to eat at home.
I've really been embracing even more than in the past plant-based stuff. So
Well, that's
the beans
trendy,
and the
trendy.
chickpeas and
Well, that goes back to the book that I said, Kristen, can we please read this book? And she said, absolutely not. It's called The China Study by T. Colin Campbell, and it really would be an academic read, and I think not in line with what we're trying to do here. But I would like to read that this summer so I have it under my belt and then can use it in the conversations of these other books that are advising this plant-based diet because they all reference him.
Right.
Keeping Your Marbles referenced him heavily.
right. Well, at Well Balanced Nutrition, we're really big on plants, but I think I was especially inspired when your friend came on and we talked about keeping your marbles, and he had all these great recipes, and then you tried them. It was
tasty,
inspiring.
tasty.
Yeah.
I like exercise, and you mentioned something about exercise at one point, but we read the Spark, and it's been a while since we've read.
That was the second book we read.
Yeah, see, I'm reflecting.
You said we like you read it. Too.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about.
And he actually did something with that information. He started walking, and I was like, yay!
So maybe we need to read another one so
Yeah.
that we can.
Yeah, take the steps next.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
that'd be a good book title. Maybe I should write that one, Take the
There
Steps.
you go. It's yours.
I
Yeah.
think the one about exercise that I'm thinking of is called the Joy Habit, and how to make it, that I think she goes into how we have different styles of exercise, and if you're not someone who can just stick to a routine, then she has some other ideas for you to help you incorporate it and find joy in exercise, which we talk a lot about at Well Balanced Nutrition with our clients, because if you're eating right, you also want to be moving more, so we kind of have that conversation. So I think that it'd be both entertaining and good for my clients.
That made me think of something in the book that we read recently called The Good Life, because this idea of routine, getting a routine. So I'm exercising 4 days a week, 45 minutes at a time, or I'm walking 3 times a day, every day, forever and ever and ever, and I'm eating ever. You get into a routine, and in that Good Life, they were talking about interruptions are good, that you need every now and then to have a break, that you
Like a vacation?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen this in some of the other books we've read about people tend to fall off the wagon, right?
And we call it that, but is it really such a bad thing?
Exactly, and that's the point I make. It is a natural phenomenon. You just can't keep doing it, and you stop. But the point is, okay, just take a break. Now start again.
Right.
And that's what we're finding is a good idea. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to fall down, if you want to call it falling down, from what you intended to do. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just maybe your body is saying, just give me a break. Let me breathe for a minute.
Absolutely.
And then come back. And I found that personally this weekend. I got out of town. I haven't been out of town for a long time. I needed to get out of town.
Nice.
I slept in hotels. I ate crap food. No, I didn't. I ate some really good food. But I also did eat a McDonald's, and it was not good. And I thought, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. But it reminded me why I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
So there you
That's what
go.
I was just thinking.
And I will say, I only got the least expensive cheeseburger thing. It was like $2, and it was only one little teeny patty. It wasn't a quarter pounder, so I at least minimized the damage. But getting out of town and even doing that was refreshing, and I've come back all ready to go again. So
Good.
yeah, it's the idea of taking breaks and maybe taking breaks and reading. We have done that over the year, and I think Kristen and I will probably we're at a checkpoint now. We're at June, 6 months into the year, right? Mm-hmm. And we always do a kind of an annual review and give ourselves a little break. So we'll be tuning in on that at some point. Not today. We don't have anything to announce, but
Yeah, maybe we'll take a break.
maybe
You'll pick up a book over the summer, and that's your break. Mm-hmm. But whatever it is, hopefully it's happy reading.
Have you read the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama?
I haven't. Have you?
No. That was Valerie Kaiser when she was here with us talking about yoga. That was one of her recommendations for us.
That'd be a good one, too. There's so many books to read, so little time.
And we have one on flavor that we were considering reading.
Yes. Yeah.
And
maybe after the summer's over.
yeah.
So I can feel that being a sciencey read.
And yeah, along with the Dopamine Nation, there's another chemistry title. Okay, I get it. I get it.
I think my lesson is I have to look at the book first so that I can know what to expect. Sometimes we just pick out a title and then it is what it is. But anyway, if you have a title, I think we've asked you this before, but if you have something that you'd like us to read, we are open to suggestions and really appreciate them, as well as any guests that want to come on, because we love having discussions with the authors or someone who is in that expertise.
Absolutely. Those are fun episodes.
If you have contacts with authors of the health realm books, then get them in touch with us
and we'll
so we can review it and possibly have them on. And they don't have to be here. We can do it via Zoom.
We've done it before.
We have.
Yeah. And we do look at the bestseller lists when we're looking at these things.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
I mean, so
trending, best-selling, and recent ones usually, yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying this podcast. I'm having a great time, but it's about time for us to wrap it up. And what do you got? You got big plans for the day?
No, not for the day. Nope, it's summer, easy living over here for me.
You're not going to splish splash in the pool?
Not today, but probably this weekend.
How about you, Tim?
I would have to be wet and outside for that. And
Wet and Wild?
Yeah.
West Virginia, Wet and Wild West Virginia.
No, that's wild and wonderful.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But no.
Oh, well, it's the middle of the week. All right, by the end of the week, we'll have a good time, y'all. And don't forget to have some fun. Read your books. That's good for your brain. It causes good connections. I'm Eleanor Russell at 360health4u.com, helping people make good purchasing decisions on the products they use in their homes. What they put in, on, or around their bodies does make a difference in the quality of your health. Reach out to me at 360health4u.com.
And I am Kristen Norton, one of the 3 registered dietitians at Well Balanced Nutrition, where we offer nutrition and wellness coaching. We invite you to reach out to us via our website, wellbalancednutrition.com, to see if coaching is right for you and also take advantage of a lot of resources we have there.
I'm going to head out to the library, y'all.
Fun. I'm going to go pick up my kids and probably organize something because I'm in an organizing mood lately.
Oh, you did your pantry.
I did my pantry. I did my closet yesterday. My, what's it called? My linen closet.
Oh, so come on over, girl. I got things at my house.
Okay. Some people call it spring cleaning. I call it summer organization.
Last year I did a spring cleaning challenge with my community.
Oh, I loved that.
I did that in after pollen season because here in the Carolinas we get tree pollen, grass pollen, flower pollen. It's awful. Mm-hmm. And so this year I said, well, I'm going to wait till that's over. Well, it's the middle of June and I still have not cleaned my windows. So I might be coming up with a challenge in my community to let's clean some stuff, and I think you're inspiring me to throw some stuff out too. Ooh. And just keep what's necessary in the organization.
Yes. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for chit-chatting with us. I hope you have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
views and opinions stated in this podcast are solely those of the contributors and are not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting company. This podcast is copyrighted, and no part can be reproduced without the express written consent of Kristen and Eleanor.